Hi, and welcome back to the TMI show with Matt and Tammy. I'm Matt.
And I'm Tammy, coming
Right
out
over here.
Yep. Hello. So, yes, welcome everyone. It takes me a minute to get my bearings straight. So how was your day? I guess that's our first question that we usually start out with.
Oh, it was really cold, and coming home, I had an unpleasant surprise in the house. Gunther had pooped on the carpet.
Oh,
And just in case, yeah, my dog. I don't have a random guy named Gunther coming inside my house and pooping on the carpet.
Or his child.
Yeah. But if you have someone named Gunther that goes and poops on your carpet, let us know in the comments below.
I just have an Edwin. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
He doesn't poop on the carpet. I
I
promise.
pooped my pants.
That's disgusting. You probably have. Sharded. I think that's called sharded.
Sharded, yeah.
Yeah. I pooped on a
On
rug before.
occasions.
Did you?
Yeah, I was. I don't know where this is all coming out. Never even talked about pooping. For some reason, we always get back onto pooping. No, when I was really sick, I was throwing up in the toilet, and yep, that happened. Not fun. Have you ever gotten that sick?
Yes. Actually, like recently, I've gotten sick to where lucky for me, the bathtub was like right across from my toilet. I had diarrhea, and then I was puking, so I was pretty much pooping and then leaning over to puke in the bathtub and everything. And yeah, it was a gross moment in my life. Put it that way.
Normally you're on the toilet and it's the other way, and I'm like grabbing the waste basket. But I have not gotten sick like that in a long time. So let's hope that now that we're talking about it, that'll be the next thing.
Knock on wood.
Exactly. So you worked today. It was probably pretty cold this morning.
It was 4 degrees outside when I got to work.
That's cold. And you work outside?
Yes,
Yeah.
work outside, but with the sun coming out and everything, it did warm up to about like 16 to 18 degrees, which actually felt nice,
Okay.
especially out in the sun and everything.
The sun was pretty.
Yeah.
That was nice. I didn't really go outside too much. I think I only went out to take the garbage can to the back of the house, and I had to go pick up a prescription. So that was about my, thing about going outside today.
Yeah.
But so I guess you can talk about your hat maybe.
Oh yes, for the people that guessed, the difference in each episode is, yes, I've always tried to wear a different hat each episode and everything, and we got 3 names in here to draw from that will receive another $10 lotto ticket. I would show it to you guys, but I forgot it in my truck.
That's no problem.
And the lucky winner is
Well, that's
my ma, Paula Darga.
hey, Paula.
You left town a little bit too soon, ma.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of cool. She was the first one to guess that, and then we didn't think that we were going to get a few more, and then just yesterday, I think, we had 2 other ones. And
Yeah.
that was, the other 2 that guessed his hat were Marie Adele, that's how she has it on Facebook, but Elridge was the last name. And so, good job for noticing that, Marie. And Lisa Cortman was the other one. So thank you. Thank you, ladies, for participating.
Yeah.
Well, today, our topic, we always are trying to figure out our topic. So, I don't know, it was last week sometime. We had some different ideas going, and I pray about everything. So I was laying in bed and I was thinking, what should we do? What's a good topic? And I always ask God to help me and figure out. And for some reason, I started thinking about phobias, probably because that's just something that we, things that we're afraid of. So that's what we're going to talk about. What are you afraid of? And fears and phobias, like true phobias. I do have a true phobia, but I'll let you go first. Do you have anything that you're afraid of? Or maybe not a phobia, but afraid.
It would have to be heights and a little bit of claustrophobia.
Okay.
Yes, like I can do small spaces and enclosed spaces, but it gets to the point where if I feel like I'm being trapped or I can't leave easily, like if there's a big crowd or if I'm in a corner or, prime example, this one time, I think we're in 5th or 6th grade, our school would send us to Camp Wolverine for like a week or whatever, and there was this one obstacle course, and the one part of the course was the bear cave or something. Pretty much it was like a little tunnel you had to go through.
Okay.
Well, it was all dark and everything, and I couldn't figure out like where it turned and everything. I was kind of trapped, and I was freaking out, and there were like people behind me and everything, and I don't know, it just wasn't the most pleasant experience, which, you know, you'll have that and everything. But yeah, for me, it has to be heights and claustrophobic, and I would say not so much of a fear of snakes as I'm not scared of snakes, but like when they come out when you don't expect them.
They startle you.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
No, that is for sure. I'm afraid of heights, which I have, again, that's a true phobia. That I'll explain that in a minute. But I had something where I was at this is really weird. I was in this spook house up in the UP somewhere. And I don't know what kind of spook house this was, but it was one that was a little bit more, I don't think that people are really supposed to touch you when you go through spook houses.
Oh.
I don't know, to me that just seems a little, I don't like people touching me that I don't know, put it that way. So it was complete dark, complete black, and they waited for groups to go in. So I was with a whole bunch of people that I didn't know, and only like a couple of people, but they were behind me that knew me, that I knew. And it got to this point, it was pitch black, and you had to crouch down and climb through this, like on your belly almost. So like the claustrophobic thing, but only in something. And I just felt, all of a sudden I got panicky. And this random man that I didn't know, I grabbed a hold of him and I said, I am so sorry. I know this is weird, but will you please get me out of here? And I go, because I am not letting go of you. That's what I said to him. I like whispered it in his ear.
Oh jeez, you probably made that man's day.
I was like, I don't even know what
baby.
I'm like, I don't even know what he looked like or anything. I was just like terrified, and I just grabbed a hold of him, and I think I heard laughing, him and another guy. There's two guys. I don't know. It was my younger days, so that was something. But that's that happened. But a real phobia I have is heights. When I was younger, I always was like afraid, but we would walk the beams in barns and climb trees, and it didn't really bother me. I was always nervous about it. But now, when I get to something that's taller, I actually will get dizzy.
Oh.
And I did not realize how bad it was until and that it was a real phobia. Because I thought, to me, when you're afraid of something, it's almost like your fear is leading up to it. So you're like, you're getting yourself kind of worked up about it. Well, we were out kayaking, which I love to kayak. And normally, though, we are kayaking in muddy water, like rivers and murky water. So you never see the bottom. Like you can't see down.
Okay.
Well, Ed and I, a few years ago, decided to take the kayaks up to the UP. We were along Highway 2, and that's Lake Michigan on that side. And there's this place called Hog Island, and we had saw it one time when we stopped, and we said, well, it would be fun to kayak out to that sometime, because they were trying to swim out to it, and I don't know, I thought that I wouldn't swim that far, because it was really far. But we get going to do that, and it's really calm, and all of a sudden, I happen to glance down, and I know this is bad too, I don't wear a life jacket when I kayak, which I should, but I never do because it's uncomfortable, and I'm a pretty decent swimmer. But I looked down, and it was crystal clear, and I could see the bottom, and it did that same thing. Then I was panicky, because then I started to faint, because I was like,
Oh, you realized like how deep it was?
And for some reason it did that. Whatever that visual effect whatever it did, it just hit me like that. And he's way ahead of me. He never waits for me, and he's like way already by the island, and I'm putzing along because I take pictures and all that stuff, and he's like yelling, "What are you doing?" And he's screaming, come on, because he's so impatient, and I'm always like, whatever. And I'm telling him, I can't. And he doesn't even matter, because he's like yelling, because that's what we're supposed to be doing. And I'm like, I can't go that way. So I just ignore him. And I turn my kayak around, and I just look at the shore, and that's what I had to focus on at shore, because if I would have kept looking down, I probably would have, and then I'm like, I'm going to pass out and drowned. Into the lake. But no, it truly is a phobia. I never realized that actually was like something, but it definitely is. So that was one of mine.
Yeah, see, with me with heights, it's not so much like being up and everything. I guess it's more or less like the fear of falling. Sometimes that's what they say. You're not so much afraid of heights, you're afraid of falling.
Okay.
Because I can be, as long as I know I'm secure and there's no way I can ever like go over the edge of anything, I'm good. But at the same time, sometimes I just still don't trust the supports or whatever.
Yeah.
Like the one apartment I had a little balcony and everything and the railing. I could be outside and everything. I'd be like right tight to the door and everything. But then I just got used to actually like leaning on the railing and
Right.
everything, so it wasn't that bad.
You got more comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't even know what my fear is because obviously I wasn't afraid of falling into the water.
Right.
Like I'm not going to get hurt. So I don't know what goes on with my body, but it responds to that in a way that I don't want it to, but it just does. Another thing is snakes getting in my kayak. I'm not afraid of snakes, like you said, if you just know they're there, but we went through another time with Ed kayaking above Spile Dam. If you do that in later summer before, if you don't have much rain, it gets completely full of lily pads that it's like acres and a carpet of lily pads that are up like this far.
Oh.
So when you're in your kayak, they actually they
She
close
is.
around you. So you're like pushing through this carpet of lily pads with just a little tiny bit of water. Because kayaks, if you don't do that, you can like kayak through. If you just have a little tiny bit of water, you can skim across real easily.
Oh.
But so I mean, there wasn't much water, but I just kept. And another thing, I got in the middle of it, and I just started panicking, and I felt like I have a sit-in kayak, so it's not like a snake's just going to come in and I can just flip it out. If it gets in, that means I have to grab
it.
grab down with my feet and get it out. So then again, I'm panicking about that. Not really panicking. I just, because I don't really like hoot and holler. I just get all, my heart starts racing. And again, Ed's way ahead of me. And he's yelling at me, like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm not going. I'm not doing it. And he's like, you're doing it. And I'm like, I'm not doing it. And he's screaming, you're doing it. I'm screaming, I'm not doing it, which I didn't. I don't listen to him anymore. He's made me push me too far on certain things that I just was miserable through, like going through a culvert with enclosed with spiders, which he's the one that's afraid of spiders more than me. But it was just like covered with webs and spiders, and we took the kayaks through it. And then we went through one culvert and then came back up the other one, and that was miserable. But yet I did it because he's screaming at me to do it.
Screaming? I was just saying, come on, that's not screaming.
He doesn't want me to paint to picture that he's cranky with me.
Not I scream all the time? Yeah, sure.
Speaking of spiders, though, my friend Kevin and his two cousins, their grandparents had a cabin out on Grand Lake for a while back for the longest time, and they would always go there on the weekends or whatever, and all three of them always had a fear of spiders. Well, still do. And this is what the story that they told me. I wasn't there, so this is like a secondhand story. But anyhow, I guess they were like huddled in the one corner of the porch because there was a big old cedar spider on the door, and their little tiny little grandma comes out, want to know why the boys were like. They're like, there's a spider. Well, she goes back in with the Kleenex, swishes it with her hands and everything, and tosses it out. So you got these. At that time, they probably, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 years old or whatever, maybe a little bit older than that. But then their little 70-some-year-old grandma and everything
Just comes out.
Yeah, just
grabs
comes
it.
out, grabs it, and
Yeah. I'm not like really afraid of spiders again, though. I just don't want them on me.
yeah.
That's basically. No, and honestly, like with everything, we should have courage. Like when we do it, and courage doesn't necessarily mean that you're not afraid of the fear. It means that you're doing it afraid. Like you're just having the courage. So, but sometimes I don't have the courage, I guess.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Is there anything else? Oh,
You know that like there's a fear, like everyone has like the most like random fear. Like there's people that I don't even know the name of the phobias. I should have looked it up.
that's okay.
But like there's people out there that are afraid of tinfoil, or like the biggest one. I shouldn't say the biggest one because it's a fear of little people. I forget what it's called or whatever, but I'm thinking like, how can you be afraid of little people? Like they're so cute and adorable.
I don't know.
They're wee ones.
There probably is
Yeah.
lots of different fears that I'm just not aware of them all either. I used to be afraid of dogs because I got bit by dogs before when I was younger, but I still, until I know the dog, I'm like, leery because when you've been bit before, it kind of
Oh,
makes
yeah.
you a little bit, standoffish. But no. One time, talking about the fainting, this is really odd too. one time I got really sick, and this is about, I want to say 8 years ago. I never had fainted before in my entire life. I never had that problem. And about 8 years ago, maybe a little bit longer than that, our bedroom used to be downstairs in this house. Now it's upstairs, but I had to get up to go to work, and all of a sudden I'm like really sick, and I just felt like I had the flu or something. So I make my way up the stairs, and I'm getting ready to go to the bathroom, and I'm in there, and all of a sudden I started feeling like, I didn't think I was fainting, but I felt like I got really sweaty, and like almost like an instant like sweat type thing happened, and I'm thinking, and then I start trying to yell for help. Well, then I knew I was in trouble because I couldn't even project my voice.
Oh, wow.
Like I was just like nothing would come out. And then I felt like I was like, something's really wrong. So I talking to God in my mind. I'm like, I'm too young to die. And then I got myself up, and as I took one step, all of a sudden I felt myself going down, and that's the last I remembered. And then on my way down though, I'm thinking, well, if this is happening, take me fast. So I'm even bossing God around on my death. When I thought I was dying. I don't know what was happening. I don't know why that happened to me, but I woke up to my husband screaming on the phone. No, he had right to be upset.
I'm always screaming, aren't I?
Yes, not so much, not lately. But on the phone, you're distracting me. Anyhow, on the phone with the emergency people, and I can hear him, but I still can't communicate to him. And he has me cocked up against the wall, like he's got me propped up with my leg pinned behind me like this. I don't know what he was doing, but he's got me propped up, and I'm pushed up against the wall, and my leg's pinned, and I'm in pain, but I can't project it, like I can't tell him. And I hear him panicking, and he's talking to them, I don't know if she's breathing. And I'm thinking in my head, oh my goodness, he's gonna start pushing on my chest. I'm like freaking out, so I finally muster up the courage, like whatever, and I go, I'm breathing. Please do not start pushing on my chest and doing something bad to me. So anyway, they came, and I ended up going by ambulance, and I was in the hospital for a little bit. I guess my blood pressure kept going down.
Oh.
They checked it, and as soon as I would sit up, it would just drop. And the lady was super nice. I can't recall her name, but she was a really good EMS worker. I don't know if she still does it, but she even like stayed with me longer, and she said that my skin was as white as the pillow at the hospital, because she even went in there, and she was like telling them like there's something wrong. But I don't know, I was sick like for about, I don't know how many days after, but whatever that was. And ever since that has happened, that periodically, that feeling will come.
Oh, yeah, like the feeling of possibly fainting?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Never had that. So even with things like afraid, I don't know what's going on with me, but anyway, I obviously don't process things correctly anymore. My body's getting older, something's happening. But I have these few questions, unless you have something else to
I
talk
don't know.
about.
Yeah, we'll go to the bucket of questions.
Yeah, I'll let you go first. I did a lot of talking, even though you're going to ask me the question. These are just some random questions. We have 5 of them, and Matt will ask me, and then I will respond to it, and then he will have a chance to respond to it as well.
Well, you just kind of touched on this, but something terrifying that you've experienced.
Something terrifying. Let me think of something different that I experienced. Well, I've had other random things. I'm going to go with a lighter subject because I've had some really horrible things happen, which would be a downer. So we won't touch base on that. But being chased by a rooster. Anybody ever had that happen? That's pretty terrifying. That is
Can't say I have.
You've never been chased by a rooster?
I've never been chased by a rooster.
I have been chased by a rooster multiple times, but the worst was when I went to collect eggs when I was probably in my late 20s, early 30s, and the darn rooster decided that day. I knew he was a little temperamental, so I had a plastic wiffle bat that I would take with me to go collect the eggs, and he would always, like, I could usually shush him out of the way. Not that day. He just decided to spur up and do his thing, and I just tapped him in the head with a wiffle bat with eggs in hand. That was the wrong thing to do. And that dang rooster, like, just looked at me and puffed up even more. So then I was like panicking, because that's what Tammy does when she gets something after her. And I really whacked him in the head, and his head went like this, whoop, and it bounced right back. And I'm like, shut. So then I kept whacking him back and forth in the head, and that rooster's head just kept going, boom, like back and forth, back and forth. I'm like, crap. And then I was in such a tizzy, the wiffle bat flew out of my hand, and then I didn't have it. Then it like chased me, and I went running to the house, and it was in the spring, so everything's slippery and muddy, and it jumped on my back legs, and I fell forward and crashed the eggs all over me. And ran up to the house.
Was this like at your house?
No, my house. And my back of my legs were scraped up a little bit, but got to the house, and my one daughter says to me, "Are you having a heart attack?" And the other one says, "You ruined your new jeans." Because you can imagine, try to figure out which daughter was which on that one. What they both have their characteristics, so one would say the other. He's like, mm-hmm. So then I called my brother-in-law, and he came up there, and he ended up shooting the rooster.
Oh.
Because I wasn't going to shoot it, so that took care of that. But that was one of my terrifying things.
Best to shoot the rooster than choke the chicken.
I don't know what they're really. I think they could be bad.
People might get that.
I'm sure. I don't know. Is that naughty?
Yes.
Is it naughty?
It's naughty.
I said naughty. I think it's naughty. So I don't know what to say. Oh, anyhow, how about you? Anything terrifying?
Kinda. Like this is gonna be. Oh, this is probably the summer after first, maybe second grade, somewhere around there. Right before school ended, the teacher was telling the class, like, hey, just kind of look out for, like, shady people, because, the whole kidnapping thing and what to look for in strangers and everything, and how they will lure you to their vehicle or try to be their friends. Well, me and my older brother were playing in the front yard, and this is like a week after school had gotten out. Mm-hmm. And this older, I can't even remember, like an older 80s model brown car, I remember that. These people, they must have been like maybe in their 40s or whatever at the time, and they're like, hey, do you guys like change or money or whatever? I'm like, well, yeah, because like, which kid doesn't at that time? Mm-hmm. Well, they throw a bunch of change on the ground, and I'm thinking, this is what the teacher was talking about. So I told my brother, like, let's not like take the money, or well, like we better get back inside.
Right.
Ma was doing dishes and everything, and my brother stayed outside and everything, but I still run inside. I'm like, Ma, there's like strangers outside the house and everything.
Money at our feet.
Yeah. So I get back out and I asked my brother, I'm like, well, hey, when did they leave? They were like, well, they pretty much left when you went. I'm like, okay. And then, but me being the kid, I'm like, I know the money was gone. So I thought basically what she did, the lady that threw the money out, like gathered the change up and everything, and
then she gathered it back up.
Yeah, she gathered the change back up and everything.
Weird.
And yeah, that's what.
And you never did find out what that was about.
No.
That's strange.
I was even like to this day, I'm thinking like, man,
yeah.
If we would have like got that change, like would we have been nabbed or whatever?
Yeah.
And then I got thinking, were they even successful? Unfortunately,
Yes.
Like, did they try?
No, that's
doing it to another group of
sad.
kids or another kid, or do they figure, okay, you know what, this ain't worth it? I mean, I don't know.
Right.
It was just weird. Like two people that we never saw a day in our lives and everything, just having to pull up, and just us being in a small community, like you recognize people's faces,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
this is like no one that we've ever saw like out in public before or anything like that. So it was just really
That's
weird.
weird.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Mm-hmm.
No. I'm just processing that, I don't know, weird things happen. I actually have lots of scary things. One time, before I open this, I had this kid, and that when you talked about your childhood, how things can sometimes, this was like, I don't know if it was an innocent thing. I was a teenager, probably about 13, 14, and we were swimming out at Sunken Lake, and one of the kids, I didn't know this boy very well, but he's maybe a year older than me. We were jumping off the raft, and you can't touch the bottom out there where the raft is. And he decided, when somebody tries to dunk you and they usually let you up a little bit after?
Yes.
And you're not aware of that's going to happen because normally you would take a better breath. Mm-hmm. Well, had no time to know that it was happening and I was being dunked. And honestly, my mom, that was a rule. We were never allowed to dunk each other. And my kids were never allowed to.
Oh.
I told them, you just don't do that. It's not allowed because we've always had pools and different things. But anyway, this young teen boy he held me under, but he pushed all his weight up on me and it pushed me down. There's nothing on my bottom. He had his knees on my shoulder, but he was holding me under, and I'm thinking, okay, eventually this person's going to let me go.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't. He just like held me, and I was getting to that point where I started moving, like I'm going to need to take a breath. So I just took my hand, I had longer fingernails, and I grabbed that area.
Oh.
And I went like this, and I just gouged the whole inside of his leg down. And he finally let me go. But I don't, to this day, I don't know what that was about. Like, why would you think that anybody could hold their breath that long?
Yeah.
And that was weird. But yeah, there's gotta be on your guard, I guess, all the time. Anyway, what fears, if any, do you have about being in a relationship? Or if you're in a relationship, what fears do you have based around that? Do you have any kind of
Wasting my
relationship?
time on the wrong person. You know, putting in the time and effort only to realize, wow, this never really worked out, and then you're back to square one, and then a lot of times it could take a long time to recoup from that.
Yeah.
From that feeling.
Especially if you open your
I mean, yeah, and but like I understand that everyone, you know, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, but
of opening yourself up to the point
yeah.
where you're gonna be.
And then like them not putting in the same effort as you.
Yeah.
And I could honestly say I've been on both sides of that.
Yeah.
You know,
Because
if sometimes you just don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can like someone more than what they like you, and then vice versa.
Right.
That does happen. So that's more your fear. Any other fears around it, other than it just not?
No.
Because honestly, anytime though we are in a relationship, even if it's a poor relationship or something that hurts us, we do usually learn something from it.
Oh yeah.
Like, I don't know. I like to think that way. Just
Everything
because
happens for a reason. The way I look at it, everything
Because-
happens and doesn't happen for a reason.
If everything was always good and happy, you wouldn't probably appreciate it as much.
Right. You wouldn't have any motivation to go out and do better.
Yeah. Fears about a relationship, because I'm in a relationship. What am I afraid of? I'm just messing with him. He's probably like, shit, I don't know what she's gonna say now.
I'm afraid of what you're gonna say.
I don't even know what I'm gonna say.
Fears of screaming?
That's just your character.
Yeah.
The fear of not having enough creamer for your coffee in the morning.
I was telling Matt about my coffee this morning. Well, he was like, okay, first of all, and it's really sweet that my husband wanted me to get up and visit with him before he had to go to work. I was super tired. I didn't sleep very good last night. So I didn't spring up like I normally do. I never spring up. I'm usually like this, and I'm so babied. I mean, when it comes to that, and Ed just thinks it's cute. He always says to me every morning, "You're just so cute." I'm like, "Thank you."
Cute in an annoying way.
Even my stinky breath. I don't know. No. Anyhow, so he was giving me coffee, and I was not ready to get up, but I got up because he wanted me to. So I'm like, I have this little pull-out couch thing that I sleep on, so I prop the back part back up. It's like a little cot couch, so I could kind of like sit up, but I didn't have it all the way up. So I'm like leaning like this is my head back, and I'm holding the hot cup of coffee on my mountain of pillows. I have, by the way, how many pillows do I have? That's usually formulated around me. Like
7 or 8.
I have lots of pillows, so they just like to be everywhere.
7 or 8 pillows.
Anyway, I'm holding my cup, and he's taking too long for it because he insists on getting me coffee, which is sweet, and he insists on putting my sugar and my creamer in my cup for me.
Till she says stop.
Until I say stop. He wants me to do this. I can do it myself, but he wants to do it. So he's doing the creamer, and even that doesn't satisfy me. I mean, this is how difficult of a person I am. He's being so nice and doing that, and I'm like waiting for this creamer, holding this cup, and I'm half asleep. And so I take the spoon, because he broke the creamer dish, by the way, that shattered, washing it. He was doing something good with it. But anyway, so I take my spoon, as he's like shaking it into my cup, and I take the spoon and I shove it in there, and I go, whoof, and I take like half of the creamer, falls into my cup, and I go, there, we're good.
She had so much creamer in there, her coffee looked like it was ice cream.
It was good, even though I could only drink like half of it because my stomach started hurting. But no, yes. But no, as far as fears, I don't know. I don't know if there's really fears of relationship. I'm already in a relationship, so I'm kind of like stuck there. I don't know what else to say. No,
Stuck.
it's a joke. Take a joke. You're being really sensitive tonight.
Sure. I'll scream it. I'm not being sensitive.
Matt's like, crap. Matt's used to us doing this. We do this type of stuff all the time to each other, so.
Have you ever overcome a fear? And if so, how?
Well, I did overcome like my fear of dogs, like, because I was bit 5 different times. And it's not, like, all when I was younger, all 16 and younger. Yeah, 16 years old was the last time I was bit. And 3 of the times I didn't know dogs were even on the premises. So it was not that, oh, they can sense you're afraid. And I'm nice to animals. I am not mean. So people say, if a dog can sense it, there's something wrong with you. No, there's not. Obviously, there's something wrong with your dog if it's biting me for no apparent reason. No, I know they're probably just protecting their territory, but no, I did finally get over that, and I haven't had any issues really with dogs. But I am still nervous. I still will put one of my children in front of me. Seriously.
For your husband.
Or my husband, whoever's near me, if a dog is approaching me and they're coming up to me first. It just happened with Annie and I last summer. She's like,
The only thing I can imagine though is like if a dog's coming towards you and you get like your granddaughter Ivy, like you pick up Ivy and just like tug her towards the dog, like, go.
she's probably the only one
Get him.
that I would probably say if that's happening, because it's my instinct.
Here's a
And-
chew toy for your
and
dog.
Yeah.
And if a dog is going, like, I feel like if it's going to be me, and it has. Every time there's been somebody else with me, and I am the one. And, no, so I put Annie in front of me. There's this friendly lab that was coming up, and I wasn't quite sure, and I just, like, kind of glided her in front of me. But no,
It shouldn't got hurt.
I just try, now I take dog bones in my pocket. That's what I do.
Good idea.
I'm like, your friend, I'm your friend. Right.
He keeps giving me for treats, so I don't like the
You're
taste.
so weird. Anyway, was that you can answer that question, right?
Well, I can't really think of anything offhand.
What was it? The question
Oh,
was
was it if you had any fears?
that you overcame.
Yeah.
Like he's like, why
Well,
are you doing
other
this to
than
me?
I guess I had the fear of being broke, so I got myself a job.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I start. As you know, I'm going to be starting a job. Tomorrow's my first day of training. And I actually have anxiety around it, just because it's not like probably going to be really hard, but I'm not, anytime you start something new, and
Yeah.
I'm kind of really hard on myself. I like to do things very well.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that it takes a little while to get to there, and it's going to bother me if I look stupid.
Yeah.
That's gonna-
Even
that's
though,
gonna
like,
bother me.
Even though you know, like your boss and your coworkers will know, like, hey, you're just starting out. Don't
Yeah.
worry about it and everything.
But it's the
you-
expectation within myself.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel the same way.
Yeah, it's going to bother me. And so that's probably why I wasn't sleeping last night very well. And my husband keeps telling me, you're super smart, you'll be fine. But I just feel that I'm not fine. Low self-esteem. All right. Are you afraid of death?
No, not really.
Me either.
I mean, I know a lot of people might be and everything, but that's
Mm-hmm.
really,
I'm not afraid.
that's one thing you can't control.
I'm just not afraid of it because I know where I'm going.
Yeah.
No, I'm just not afraid of it. I'm afraid of being tortured. Like if that was ever to happen, I don't want to
Yeah.
be tortured. Like waterboarded. Is that how you say it? Waterboarding?
Yeah.
I think that would be horrible. Maybe that
Oh, yeah.
relates back to the drowning thing.
Maybe.
I don't know why but that the thought of somebody doing something like that, I don't want to be tortured. I have enough dreams where I'm tortured. Seriously, I have horrible dreams. And I just don't want to be tortured. But death itself, no.
Yeah, I can't say I would be afraid of death.
It saddens me that people that care about me will be
That's
sad.
what I was saying, like all my friends and family and everything,
They'll be
like
sad.
knowing that they would have to go on trying to
Mhm. Yeah.
adjust,
Yeah.
I should say, because, well, both you and I, we've all had that situation, whether
Okay,
it be
people. Yeah.
friends or family members and everything that passed away. And obviously there are some people that, you know, leave us that hit us harder than others and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I would be, as long as I know, like, everything would be, like, okay once I'm gone
Yeah.
and everything. I know, like, not okay as in the sense, like, people wouldn't care or anything, but, like, everything would be taken care of.
Yeah.
But as far as like dying, no. I mean, that's
Yeah, I
You
think
know.
it's just, mine would be more just probably anxious around painfulness around it, if that,
yeah.
not necessarily the death part. Honestly, I think that's going to be very cool it's cool if you're going to heaven. It's probably not too good if you go in the other place.
I hear it's warm there though.
Toasty on the feet.
It says that how it describes it is that you're constantly feeling like a burning and you feel that you cannot quench your thirst and you're like being tortured
Oh.
and very like it. I mean, it does give a description. I didn't look into it real.
It's almost like living in Florida.
Actually, Florida in the right time of year is pretty nice, but
Yeah.
if you're in the right place.
We went down to
Or
Florida.
Arizona.
Oh, Arizona. Yeah.
That doesn't
When I was
mean
in
that
high
maybe-
school, our choir class went down to Florida to actually sing in Disney World and everything. And we went down in March.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time it was like 70 degrees and everything. And everyone knew that we were from like Michigan or like a northern state because we were the only ones walking around in shorts and t-shirt where everyone else was like still hoodies and jeans and everything because they're used to 90 degrees and humidity.
Okay.
We were just coming from
Yeah.
Michigan that during March was like 30 degrees at the warmest and everything.
Right.
And so,
Yeah.
okay, last one. What were you afraid of as a child?
Well, I got some dark stories on that, but we won't go there. But honestly, my dad loved to tell spook stories. And in my bedroom, there happened to live the sub pump monster right under where my bed was. And that's what he told me about.
Yes.
The sub pump monster was an actual monster that lived in the sub pump. And every time that dang sub pump would kick on, I would just like freeze in my bed and I just wouldn't move. I don't know if he realized. Now I think it's great. I think it's hilarious. But at the time it was not funny. I remember running down my hall and like jumping over to my bed so nothing would grab me under the bed. He loved to tell spook stories. He was really good at it. And like the sickle man and the heads would roll off and yeah, he had us kids so afraid of the sub pump monster that when my cousin Sam, he's only 5 months older than me. He's like a brother to me. That was the closest like male cousin, and we did everything together. But he was like my protector. It was really cool. Anyway, he told all of us kids this story, and my cousin Sam went downstairs, and the sub pump kicked on, and it did its roar or whatever. And he went over to it and he kicked it really hard and he busted it.
Oh.
But no, we didn't tell my dad because we didn't even know we busted it. We thought it was the sub pump monster. And it flooded the basement. Like this much water. So kind of
Now, was
ironic.
it something that like your dad just used that sub pump as like a thing?
It was just a
make him out-
story.
Or did he like tell the story to make sure that you guys wouldn't go near it?
I think it was just a story,
Okay.
just something fun, because he told lots of fun. I look at him now. I loved it then too. We loved him in spook stories told to
Oh.
us. I didn't tell my kids too many spook stories because I know how it traumatized me as a child. And then honestly, if you're a kid, because a lot of parents don't think that things can happen to their children, like real things in the world. And if you're a kid that maybe is having that said, and then you happen to be a child that has another issue that happens in the real world, it just escalates that.
Oh.
I didn't even realize that until I was older. I mean, it's nothing. It wasn't bad parenting or anything like that. Wouldn't say that. It's just that there's a lot more that's going on in those little kids' minds than what people think. We think that they're just little kids and that they are going to get over all these different things. But a lot of those things carry on, like real things. I'm not talking about spooky stories. I'm not disking that, but there's a lot of real things that little kids carry on into their adulthood that just hinder them.
Yeah.
And honestly, it wasn't until I went and spoke with a doctor in my teens when I was telling him, like, talking and different stuff. And I think the most reassuring thing that started a healing to some things, not like I had a horrible childhood. I don't want people to think that at all. I had a great childhood. But is that he just said it's okay to feel. It was like somebody giving you the okay that it's okay to feel that way, and that it's just going to be something that will be like piggyback on your back for the rest of your life, different things, different traumas and different stuff that happens to any of us. And that just knowing that though, that it was okay to feel like that, and that it was okay to still continue to feel something that you couldn't control throughout your life is a huge relief for someone. So if anybody hasn't heard that before, I want you to know it is okay. I'm going to try not to get emotional. So we won't talk too into depth with that because that's very, very strikes a nerve a little bit. But anyhow, do you have any words of advice? What time are we at? Are we at pretty far? I don't even know.
Yeah, we got. I mean, probably could close
Pretty soon.
Yeah.
Okay, do our ending stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you have anything more to touch base on phobias, funny stories, or anything?
Well, I can't think of anything offhand now.
No.
Not really.
My seriousness kind of like cramped your style. I know. Got to joke about it. That's how I deal with life. Joking about stuff and turn it into something a little bit more positive and learning experience. Anyway, my thing would be is to emphasize on that courage is doing it afraid. It does not mean that you're not afraid to do something, but that you push yourself to do it if it's not going to harm you or harm someone else. And I want to also emphasize that God does tell us that, I have it written down, I put, fear not, for the Lord, for I, the Lord, am with you always. And that's very, very true. And if you can learn some of those Bible passages or just have them spring up in your head, that really helps you out in times when you might be going through something. And honestly, so basically courage, I'm telling you to do it afraid because we can't help but be afraid. But God also tells us that he is with us anytime we are afraid and that we should fear not. And then you can read another Bible passage, because I know there's going to be people that say, well, it says to fear the Lord. What that means is you're not supposed to be afraid of God, of your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. What that means is that fear is representing that it is a reverential fear, a respect, like you would have for your father or someone who truly cares about you. It is not like you would be afraid that you will be corrected. It's not necessarily a fear that God's going to punish you, because he doesn't work like that. And I just want you to know that God, we have a loving God that is with us always. So if you're facing any kind of fears, there is power in the name of Jesus, and there is power in the prayer, and it says that in the Bible. And I just talked about this with my kids yesterday, and my one of my kids, my oldest, she started tearing up because she remembered me telling her that, and when she went through something, and she goes, Mom, that's what helped me. So if for people that, I take it for granted, that knowledge or that knowing of that stuff, and that some people never get told that, just like I never got told until I was a teenager from a doctor saying that it is okay to feel that way. So I'm here to tell you it is okay to feel afraid, because everybody does, and there's nothing wrong with you. And that would be my thing, that, and that have confidence in Christ. My husband sometimes will tell me, he goes, well, have confidence in yourself. You're very, we were just having this, and I said, if you have confidence in yourself, you're always it's good to have confidence, yes, but that confidence ought to be in Christ, because self-confidence, if you're relying on yourself, we always screw up. I mean, we're not perfect. We're not, so that's my little words of wisdom this evening, and I hope it helps someone, and I hope you found some funniness and some helpfulness. And next week, I didn't even discuss with this Matt because we got talking about other things. I'm not sure if we'll have a show. If we do, it might be a little short clip, because I have a baby shower that I'm doing.
Oh yes, the baby
and
shower.
I was looking over my schedule now with this new job. That had nothing really to do with it, because I was already going to talk to you about this, but I forgot. And every day, basically this week, I have stuff. But if I know my schedule by the time Sunday comes, the day after the shower, and it's at the right time, maybe we can do something that day. Otherwise, we'll catch you the following week. Sound okay?
Sounds good to me.
Okay. You all have a wonderful evening.
And my coffee's cold now, so we can go.
Yes. And God bless you.
You guys have a good one. I'm going to stare here awkwardly until she takes it off.
And I don't know how to do it. Do you know how to do it? See, now we're stuck. We don't know how to do this. That's right, Matt. You get it?
Nope.
All right. Finish.